Hello. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Mel Nostalgic Runner, and we are back for another episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. This is season Sweet 16, and this is episode 8, and it's called Boots on the Ground. Whoa, where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them fans at? Sorry, I couldn't help it. I could not help it. But anyway, let me just address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm not on video today, but I wanted to hurry up and get this episode knocked out. Because honestly, I've been enjoying the nice weather. It's been in the 70s past couple days in the Shy, and so I just been fully enjoying that and really just enjoying this new beginning that I've had with my new place. So yeah. But anyway, this review shouldn't take too long. It was a good episode overall. Portia's doing too much. Angela's doing too much. Angela is actually becoming high key my favorite new housewife of all of them. She is messy, but in a good way, and I kind of like it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the episode. So first we start off with Shamia. Child, Angela had her influence. I almost called her Shamina. Shamia, basically recapping what happened last episode with her rendition of country music. And it was cute. It was funny. The producers, so unserious. Love it. And then from there, we go on and Britt FaceTimes her husband. And they, child, I don't believe their chemistry, but they're trying to show us that they have some chemistry. And Britt is just letting them know what's been going on. And for once, she's not really the center of the drama for once. And I think maybe that's why the last episode was kind of flat for me, because I was getting sick of Britt. And really, this episode, she took a little bit more of a back seat. And I wasn't mad at that. So anyway, from there, we do go back to Shamia. And she is checking in with her husband, Gerald. And Shiloh, her youngest, is not doing well. So when it comes to all the medical stuff. And in her confessional, she gets really, really emotional about the whole situation. Kind of just explaining, she would not be able to be as strong of a person as she was if it wasn't for her amazing partner. And she is obligated to give him a son. So they are going to try again, despite all the adversity that they are experiencing with the two children so far. And it's really beautiful, but it's also sad at the same time. But yeah, that's kind of what happens here. And then from there, we have Angela and Cynthia. They're recapping everything that happened. Angela, girl, you are messy, and the fact that you don't understand why things happened the way they did, it's like, girl, be so for real. But Cynthia is still being like her middle of the ground self that she always is, like riding the fence per usual. And Angela at this moment, she feels targeted. And unfortunately, it doesn't end. This episode doesn't make it better, but she really does feel like she doesn't have anyone there who has her back. Cynthia, was kind of like, Switzerland, but really outside of that, Angela isn't really, direct friends with anyone other than Drew. But like, at least let them tell it on this show. So the fact that Drew isn't there, she's like... And Cynthia's like, when is your friend going to be here? She keeps saying that she should be coming soon. And that was like 4 hours ago. And Drew, I'm speaking directly to you. What is the deal with this whole entire season of you never being on time? I don't understand what that is. I really don't. But anyway, Drew finally does arrive. And child, that's where the mess really starts to pop off. Okay, so Drew arrives and, everyone, basically Cynthia and Angela are the ones who greet her. Everyone else is just kind of doing their own thing. Like Kelly and Britt are kind of shocked that Drew is there because of everything that happened. Same thing with Shamia. Shamia is actually just kind of minding her own business because this is all happening around the same time in this scene. And Portia is just trying to keep it cute and stay away. And then from there, Angela does let Drew know what her room is those bunk beds. And Drew is less than amused. She's like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. And then Angela in her confessional, she's asked, would she have done anything differently? And she's like, no, I would have. So Angela, this is one, I think this is why I like Angela so much, because not only does she stand on business, she triples down and stays on business. Like, she is not changing it. She's like, ain't nothing changing over here. I did what I did. And if it came down to it, would I invite Drew there again? The answer is yes. And we see why, because Drew is a person that she is the closest to on this show. And also to Portia. I'm sorry, but you tried it. You tried it. And for those who are wondering, if this was not a reality show, if this was real life, would I think Angela is wrong for what she's doing? Absolutely. Because it was Portia's birthday trip. But this is a reality show, and it is Real Housewives, where typically, and this is where I don't know for sure, but this is what I'm going to assume, it's a cast trip, and it's something that the show pays for, not really Portia. So therefore, you are trying to get Drew not to be on this cast trip also means you're taking money out of her pocket. So if that's what it is, Portia, no, she's definitely doing too much for something that we know is not a true it's not a true beef. Like, Portia, you need to focus on your divorce and keep it cute. Anyway, so then they are on their way to do their things for that day. And we have half the women going to do a Coyote Ugly thing. And then the other women are doing like a whiskey tasting. And yeah, so we'll get into that a little bit more now. So on the way to these events, they're on the Sprinter brand, and Shamia gets very, very emotional. And we find out before she got on the bus, one of her former friends reached out to her and basically apologized to her for blaming her for her divorce. And for those who have watched the show before, Shamia's been married before, and she divorced her former husband due to DV. And she spoke at Kenya's event years ago about that. And this is what gets me. This is another episode where Kenya is still part of the show. No matter how much they try to get rid of Kenya, they can't get rid of her on this show. And I just really wish Bravo would not drop the ball when it comes to the situation. Did Kenya mess? Like, we're not going to keep addressing what happened. We know what happened. We saw it. But you need to, if you're going to do that, then you shouldn't have had her on the show at all. And you shouldn't be even using something where you have her event. And I know, I get that on these shows, footage stays in perpetuity. But at the same time, it's like, okay. But anyway, back to the reason why I said that. We see in the old footage, this was, I don't know I forgot what season it was, but we see that Shamia is actually opening up about this back seasons ago, basically speaking at Kenya's domestic violence event. And then we also see a similar situation where Cynthia's mom also opens up about it. And they kind of talk about that a little bit in this. And yeah. Child, and I'm back. Zero was acting the fool. I had to go and get him from doing stuff. Anyway, okay. So Cynthia's mom is so basically Shamia's like, so how's your mom doing when it comes to all that? It was an interesting scene leading up to the event. And I do like that we got that from Shamia, because Shamia is always kind of like the life of the party. But full transparency, it did kind of come off as awkward because it kind of came out of nowhere. But Shamia did state that her former friend did just text her that morning out of nowhere, and it just kind of triggered some old feelings. And so it be like that sometimes. That does happen. So I get that. So anyway, then from there, we have the ladies going to their respective events. So the three that go to the Coyote Ugly Bar, um, I was about to sing. But you know that you can't fight the moon. I know you can't fight it. It's gonna take to your heart. For those who know, that's a Leanne Rhymes song. And anyway, I am aging myself, but it is from a movie that is based on the bar Coyote Ugly. So anyway, but Shamia, Portia, and Kelly, they are basically getting to beat Coyote Ugly girls, and which also seemed fun, but they were turning up, turn up, turn up, turn up. But then on the other side, which they also were turning up, but it was a little bit more on the classy and demure side of turning up. So honestly, either events I would have been with going, like they were both they equally looked as fun. It just depended on, did you want high energy or did you want more of a chill vibe? So for the whiskey tasting, we had Drew, Angela, Cynthia, and Britt. And at this moment, Angela's kind of just airing her grievances about what's going on. And Britt kind of gets into it with her. But they do end up resolving the issue at the end of it. But was it really resolved? I think they put a pin in it because Britt also tried to, when she was kind of going back and forth with Angela, somehow Drew got back into it too. Because I think Britt still is somehow wanting this loyalty from these women who have known Kenya way longer. But what Cynthia did, which one thing that I did like about this episode, Cynthia definitely showed why she's on this show. Because she's like, look, two things can be true. Kenya is their friend. They're not gonna, just abandon her. But at the same time, what Kenya did was wrong. And I think if Britt wasn't such a non-likable person, what the perspective, and I'm trying to just put that aside, from Britt's perspective, she's just like, look, despite what I did to cause it, it is messed up what she did, retaliation wise. It was very humiliating. And I get that. I can agree with that, and I can understand that. And I think at the end, Angela and Drew again were like, yeah, we understand it. It's fine. And so Britt feels a lot better. It seems like Britt has kind of let her guard down when it comes to really Angela, and they kind of just like resolve things. But then on the other side, we have Portia trying to stir up some mess with Angela and talking to Kelly about all the things Angela said, basically trying to allude that Angela's trying to set Drew up. And child, Portia must really think we're dumb. It's clear to me, I think she thinks we're dumb. It's clear as mud that Angela, yeah, she's a little messy, but I think what she was trying to do, she really was, to me, it came off like she was trying to be matriarchy and trying to fix the issues that Drew and Portia has, because at the end of the day, it really is not that serious. And honestly, I don't care about it, to be very honest with you. But again, y'all already know I have a little bit of a bias because on this show, I do not care for Portia. Outside the show, I don't know her like that, but I will say Portia is entertaining, and I do watch her YouTube channel. So you do as you will when it comes to that. Anyway, so that's kind of what's going on the other side. But then afterwards, all the ladies get done doing the libations of it all from their respective corners, and they're heading home on the Sprinter. And Britt, this is probably one of the only times where I found Britt entertaining. Oh, girl was gone with the win. Borderline, just looking like she was white girl wasted. And we also see in a flashback when they were showing them at the whiskey tasting, because we only got a little bit of what we saw there. Cynthia was throwing them back. Cynthia was actually calling out Britt, like, "Ooh, girl, you are a lightweight." And it was cracking me up. It was condescending to me. But anyway, so they head back. And at this point, it's safe to assume they're kind of probably going to take a quick nap, get themselves together, sober up a little bit so they can get ready for the turn up in the evening. So then, as this is happening, Portia FaceTimes PJ and Dennis, kind of like a montage situation. And then we have the cowboy dinner getting ready. So what they're doing for the evening is they're staying actually at the place that they're staying at, and they have cowboys there, and they're making them kind of a nice little cowboy dinner situation. And so as this is happening, as the dinner is getting ready, they have like kind of like a drinking pregame situation that's ready to go. And one by one, the ladies are going to headed downstairs, getting ready to do that. And one thing I will say, these past two episodes with this girls trip, their inner cowboy Carter, they did that. Especially little fun size Kelly, girl, them titties were out. Them titties were out, and they were out to play. And I wasn't mad at looking at that. I was not mad at it. Anyway, so all the ladies though are happy, having a good time. Like, we're going to continue our turn up. And then Portia comes downstairs on stank attitude. She's not dressed up. She's wearing all black. Wearing all black like an omen. Y'all can finish the rest of those lines, but that's what she was doing. And we found out that Portia just found out from a source that Dennis has been filming with Drew after Portia basically tried to tell this man not to do that, as if like this man's her parent or something. I mean, that she's a parent of this man or something. And yeah, so she was upset. She was upset. And so everyone's asking what's wrong, because I mean, it's clearly obvious that she's mad. But she tries to, say everything's fine. And then the rest of the cowboys go outside. They all go outside and they get ready to line dance. And really, most of the women did not have rhythm. let's just be so for real. Most of the women did not really have rhythm. And Shamia knew that, and she was calling it out. She was like, I don't know what Kelly was doing. I don't know what Angela was doing. And really, what was funny about it is at least Kelly was straight up. She's like, yeah, no. If it's not the electric slide or like the Cupid shuffle, I ain't got nothing for you. I was like, hey, fair. And then after they get finished doing the line dancing, they all go to sit down. And then this is where the mess continues. So Angela and Portia kind of go back and forth as they sit down. Because what things started is everyone's asking how things went. And Angela states that her and Britt made up. But then Angela, as she apologized, she's like, wait, I don't know why I agreed to saying that I was a victim. I don't know how I'm being a victim. And then Portia is agreeing with Britt, of course, when it comes to all that, because Portia's the one who said it to begin with, and Britt is just really piggybacking off of what Portia said. And so Angela's like, I don't really know why that's true. Like, I feel like I was attacked. And then Portia doesn't really want to give Angela anything when it comes to this. She's like, okay, whatever, you got it. You can tell Portia is like mad, and she's just like, I don't even want to argue with any of y'all right now when it comes to this, because she's mad about like the Dennis thing. The Dennis thing definitely shook her, and that's kind of crazy to me. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Child, now Whisper's doing the most. My cats love my attention. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. So Portia's just really just kind of like, okay, because what Angela said, she's like, so y'all want me to be accountable so bad for what I did, but I don't think I did anything where I need to be accountable. But Portia, where's your accountability? You never did answer. And this kind of, to me, I was like, Angela, girl, this is coming out of left field. But at the same time, and this is like, girl, you're kind of doing the most. But at the same time, Someone needs to stay on Portia's neck. I am not going to hold you. I know I'm not right. I'm not right. I'm not right. And she's like, you never did answer Kelly's question. Kelly's like, oh, child. And Kelly just went away from the table. She's like, I'm going to see where my fish is at. Where is my fish? Because everyone's food's coming out except for Kelly, because Kelly's the only one that ordered fish. So she went away from the table at this moment. She's like, oh, no, I have nothing to do with this. And Cynthia's like, so, Portia, are you going to answer Cynthia's question? And Portia's like, Angela could kiss my ass. And Angela's like, well, you can get, the rest of the world can do that. I ain't doing this. She's like, you first. And I was like, well, okay. Okay. And then Drew then tries to break this up. And she's like, okay, look, I know, let me just address the elephant in the room. I know she's trying to basically kind of like do the olive branch when it comes to Portia one more time. And Portia, this whole entire scene, you could tell Portia just was not here for none of it. Like, though everything that happened, like that news when it came to what Dennis did was just like, that was in her head rent free. Everything else she did not care about. She was not entertaining anything else at this point. And so Drew's like, I just want to, extend the olive branch one more time. Like, thanks for having me here and letting me be here despite, our differences. Can we, try to patch it up and everything like that? And I just want to make sure you're not upset with me. And Portia gave the most driest, we straight. She's like, yeah, we straight. That was her response. And Drew Drew's like, but honestly, I kind of agree with Drew. Drew was not really doing the most to me. I think Drew just felt the tension the whole entire time. And we have to remember, Drew is also going through her own thing, if we're to believe her storyline as well. She's going through a divorce as well. So she's just like, oh yeah, no. I can't do this right now. And so Drew just is like, okay, if you don't want me here, I'm out. And so she just kind of storms off and like proceeds to pack her things and leave. And Portia the whole entire time's like, I fired at Drew way worse in the past than I have before today. And this is all it takes for her to leave. I mean, if you're going to leave, okay, bye. Like, but really, and this is what Portia says in her confessional. She's like, really, I don't have any issues with Drew. I don't really have any issues with Angela at this moment. My issue right now is Dennis and him betraying my trust and doing what I asked him not to do only 3 weeks later. And so she was just really just reeling from that. And so the dinner is basically abruptly over with. And we see Cynthia talks to Portia about what happened. And then this is when Portia says all that to her. And then some of the other ladies are checking on Drew. And Drew's kind of crying too. She's like, look, I'm going through my things with my ex-husband. I came here to escape it. And I can't escape it. And in the after show, Drew, I just really wish Drew would just admit her going behind Portia's back to really work with Dennis in the first place was she went about all this wrong. And the fact that Drew just won't admit to that is like, girl, I know even as me who is kind of biased, who don't really care for Portia like that, I just really wish Drew would at least own up to that. And she won't. And even in the after show, Cynthia tries to explain this to her. And Cynthia's like, you got to watch out for these baby daddies. And Cynthia, I think, said this to Angela earlier on before Drew got there. She's like, if someone was to try to work with Leon and didn't tell me, oh, there would be a problem. And yeah. So anyway, this is happening. And then fast forward later on in the evening, the rest of the ladies, minus Drew and Angela, so they're kind of on an island now, they go to the pool and just start continuing their party and just start twerking. Portia gets herself together and they back outside and they're twerking. And then things get a little wild. And then fast forward, some things happen. And this is what gets me about Portia. You be wanting to be on Portia's side, and then she does something like this. So fast forward, it's like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're still at the pool. At this point, Cynthia is no longer there. It's really just the three. It's just the four of them. It's Shamia, Britt, Kelly, and Portia twerking at the pool. And Portia is super inebriated, and Angela can hear everything that's going on because she's talking to her husband, Charles. And according to Angela, she overheard Portia just talking mad crap about her the whole entire time. And then she overheard Portia saying, maybe I should try to take Charles now. And child, Portia, I don't think you really want it with Angela. I know you're trying to play these games, but you don't really want it. You don't really want it. I get why Portia did that, because I think she's trying to do as a clapback because of Angela saying what she said, reintroducing the topic of her stealing someone's man. But like, you doing that is not doing you any favors, because Angela's like, well, I mean, based off your track record, you will try to steal someone's husband. So yeah. And then Portia, in her confessional this whole entire time, it's so creepy that she would like film us while we're talking and stuff like that. And according to Angela, she did not start off with filming. She just overheard things being said about her. And once she overheard her name multiple times, that's when she started to film. Probably because she wants some receipts, It's that way Portia can't deny that happened. Because at this time, this is like after the cameras are off. So anyway, it's the next day. They're going to leave. And Angela is at the door, not in a great mood, ready to leave, ready to hightail it out of there, because she's like, I don't have any ally. She basically feels like she has no allies here in this house. She feels like she's being targeted. And part of it, she did kind of bring it on herself a little bit. But at the same time, it is a little bit much what they're doing. Portia clearly doesn't have a storyline because she can't do all the things that she wanted to do with her on this show. And so now she's just causing mess instead. Mess and destruction. And when she figured that the drama between her and Drew is stale and it's going nowhere, she's moving on to Angela now. And Angela, again, I don't think she's the one for this, but that morning while Angela's waiting to, leave, Kelly goes to try to talk to her, super cheerful and stuff. And she's like, hey girl, I'm not fake. I'm just going to say, hey girl, and that's it. And Kelly the whole entire time is like, what's wrong? Da, 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 da. And it's like, I'm like, Kelly, read the room. Angela don't want to talk to you. Get out of her face. And Kelly's just like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just always in a good mood like this. And Angela ain't here for it. And I understand why. And towards the end of this episode, Angela's like, really, them three, Kelly, Britt, and Shamia are just Portia's minions, and I'm over it. I was like, whoop! So it's interesting to see how this is going to transpire next episode. But again, I don't think Portia really wants it with Angela. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the episode. I thought it was a pretty interesting, entertaining episode. It was better than last episode. I will say that, because last episode didn't really do nothing for me, but this was pretty good. But anyway, let me know what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.